Hi! Happy Friday! We are going to do one dumbbell strength today for hips, core, lower body in general. We're going to get everything moving. It's going to feel really good. Hello! I'm going to go ahead and get started pretty much right away. So in case you didn't see my stories, you're going to need one dumbbell. Hello friends, hello. You're gonna need one dumbbell. If you don't have a dumbbell, no problem. You can use, especially if you're not strength training regularly, a water bottle filled up with water with the cap on would be a good substitute. A jug of detergent, anything heavy. Hey, you just want to be able to grip it. So this is not the case to use something like a book, or you want something you can get in your hand, okay? And I've got I've got a 12. If you are not experienced with strength training, you might want to go somewhere more in the 5 to 10 range. If you are experienced with strength training, you can probably go to the 10 to 20 range. I'm going to keep it fairly light today because I'm not feeling 100%, but I'm really excited to move with you. So let's get right into it. So go ahead and put your dumbbell down for right now. I'm just going to warm up those hips a little bit and start with a little bit of mobility work before we get into the actual strength work. Okay. Or the dumbbell work. So let's begin balancing. We were working on some of these a couple of weeks ago. We're going to balance on the left leg and just let the hips sink out to the side. Just kind of hover the right leg off of the floor. Exhale, lift the pelvic floor, press into that leg and bring it up to vertical. Inhale, drop, exhale, press and lift to vertical. So we're just practicing finding that nice vertical leg. So I should feel like my knees straightens, my toes are kind of gripping, keep going with that gripping on the floor like a gorilla. Okay, so remember we have those 5 digits, not just on our hands, but on our feet as well. And they can grip for us to give us more stability and help us to engage the arch muscles of the feet and the pelvic floor, the inner thigh. Let's just do a couple more on that side. Exhale, press into the floor and lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, press into the floor, lift the hips and lower. Give it a little shake. We're going to move over to the other side. So balancing on the right leg now. Let the hips sink out to the side. We're exhaling and we're pulling this glute muscle in and then relax it. Exhale, press into the toes, bring the thigh bone vertical. Press. Don't worry about the exact pacing here. Just go at a pace where you're controlled. You can put a hand on the wall as well. If you wanted to really level this up, you could stand on a yoga block or a couple of books stacked up. Let's do 3 more on this side. We're going to just kind of do one set of everything here, warm-up style. So one more time. Lift up. Okay, let's add on to that. We're going to come back to this left leg again. Balancing on the left leg, we're going to add in a march. So this time what I want you to do is think about that listed or lifted position and then bring the other knee up to march and watch that you don't sink in as you march. Same leg, okay? Just practicing that, engaging with the floor. Now, why this seems really simple. If I just said to you, just keep going. If I just said to you, just march the knee up, you might be like, oh, it's cardio, but really what we're doing here is we're practicing holding that hip in a nicely engaged position. So you can let it sink out, or you can just press into the floor and hold it nice and straight the whole time, which is gonna really give you a burn in the glute, maybe even in the foot and the calf. If you're not used to working out in bare feet and you're working out in bare feet at home, that can take a little practice too. And let's switch sides. Coming to the right side, find that lifted or pelvic list position and march the other leg up. So we can start to bring the core and the breathing into it. Exhale, march the knee up. And I have 2 opposite forces here. I'm pushing down with the right leg while I pull up with the left knee. So it's not a dumping in, it's not all the work on this side, it's equal force. A push down and a lift up. Let's do 5, 4 more. Hips, if you're really focusing, they should be getting nice and warm. Last 2, and 1 more. Okay, last thing we're gonna do here is just come into a little bit of a bootstrapper to warm up a bit more. So let's bring the feet to about your squat position, maybe a slight turnout. Go ahead and sit down into your very lowest squat. So if that's not feasible for you, feel free to use something for support and just come into kind of a deeper squat with a little bit of help. If you can come all the way down to the bottom and reach your knees out towards your middle toes, that's great. Hands down, go ahead, lift the bum up into the forward fold, let your head fall down. Inhale into the squat. Let's do volleyball arms here and really open up the chest if that's available to you. If not, you can just kind of keep the hands down, that's fine. And then lift the head up, or lift the bum up, let the head fall down. Just a couple more here. You might go a little faster or slower than me, that's okay. The point of this is not doing it for reps though. We are just getting warmed up. So we'll just do a couple more here. And then we're gonna come onto the floor and I'm gonna give you an exercise that's gonna feel really great on your hips. And it's gonna give you a chance to work your core for a moment as well. All right, last one. Coming up into that forward fold. Come down into that squat and then just go ahead and come right down onto the floor. So I'm gonna give you two options for this exercise. If you are dealing with prolapse, low back pain, you've had a baby in the last 6 months or a year maybe, then I'm gonna give you a gentler option. If you're fully recovered and you know that you can do crunching, sitting up abdominal work, then you can follow along with the option number 2. So we're gonna begin in a 90-90 position. So go ahead and bring one leg forward and the other leg out to the side, kind of like a mermaid position in yoga, or we call 90-90 or shin box position. And from here, I'm just gonna lean forward. Option 1 is to bring the hands back, rotate the legs to the center, or if you can, rotate this way, and then come to the other side and go down. Option 2, which I'm gonna demonstrate, is to come forward, bring the knees to center, and we're gonna do a sit-up. So we're gonna rock down, sit up, and swing the legs around to the other side. Let's try that again. Coming to center, rolling back with control, and sit up, legs pivot around to the other side. Lean forward, so getting a little bit of work into that, rotating those hip muscles. We're getting the hip flexors and the core, come around to the side and lean into it. This doesn't have to look any particular perfect way. We're just combining a little bit of strength work and mobility. And just a reminder, if you're not doing the sit-up portion, then you're just kind of rotating and you can use your hands for support if that feels better to you. Let's just do a few more, coming back to center, recline, sit up, rotate, lean forward, come back to center, recline, rotate, lean forward. Let's do 3 more here. Keep going at your own pace. You might go slightly faster or slower than me, and that's just fine. Beautiful. If anything doesn't feel good in your body, more than like stretching, releasing, then take the gentler option. You shouldn't feel pressure or pain when you're doing a sit-up motion, okay? Beautiful. Last one. Rotate around, come up, and then let's just come to hands and knees. We're just gonna rock back to child's pose, and we're gonna come up to start our dumbbell work. So just do a few rocks here. Inhale back, exhale forward, and come on up to standing. So now you're gonna grab your dumbbell, and remember, we wanna use something 5 to 10 or maybe 10 to 20, depending on how experienced you are. So let's start with the dumbbell in your left hand. And we're just gonna do a hang clean. We're just gonna come into a hinge position and then bring the dumbbell up to shoulder height. So it sounds complicated, but it isn't. Let's begin with the feet hip width, shoulders down and back, abs turned on. Inhale into the hinge and just let the dumbbell track right in front of your legs. Exhale, drive forward. Let's just practice that hinge a couple times just because it's our first time doing it together today. So I'm reaching my tailbone back behind me and I'm making sure my abs are coming back at the same time, so I'm not dropping them and arching the back, okay? So for the clean, what we'll do is reach back, drive forward, flip the elbow under, so we end up in this nice front rack position. Okay, so let's just try that a few times together. Inhale back, and I use the momentum from my hips. So your dumbbell is probably going to be able to be a lot heavier than what you would use if, for example, you were just trying to do like a bicep curl or something to get it up. Now, if this movement feels intimidating, you can, with a lighter weight, just use like a bicep curl motion. That's okay. Let's keep going. One more time, we're going to add on to it. All right, this time, once we clean, we're going to add in a squat. So now, keeping that elbow forward, inhale back, exhale up and squat. Let's do that again. Reach back, drive forward with the hips, squat, and up. All right. Inhale back, drive the feet down, squat, 2 more on this side, reach back, squat, and 1 more time on this side. Reach back, clean, squat, stand and rest. So let's switch sides. Right hand, let's come to that hinge a couple times. Reach back, drive forward. So you can have both arms moving up and down as if you had 2 weights, if that helps you keep your shoulders square. I really like having the arm out, and let's clean when you're ready. So we want the dumbbell to stay nice and clean, close, to the body. It's a shrug and then a flip of the elbow. Not a pull, like a high pull. Let's do a couple more, and we're gonna add in our squat. Drive the feet down, let the hips do all of that work. Exhale, drive the feet down. All right, adding in our squat now. Ready? Feet have to be squat width. Down, up, and reset. Hinge to build up momentum in the hips. Drive to clean. Inhale down, exhale up. Now in that squat, there is just as much work happening in the back and down phase as in the forward and up phase. 2 more. So I want to reach back with control and not fall into it. Let's do that again. Reach back with control and rest. All right, now we're going to progress it. Your choice. You can either stay with the clean, or if you want to get it a little bit more intense, we're going to take it to a dumbbell snatch. Now, if you've never done a dumbbell snatch, it's time for water. If you've never done dumbbell snatch, they look a little fancy, but once you master them, they feel quite smooth and effortless. So we have the same first setup. So let's bring it back to the left side. Into the hinge, drive forward. Let's just practice that a couple times. Now remember, as we come out of this, we're gonna start to shrug in order to get that weight up. So let's practice the shrug a couple times. And then a snatch, we're gonna shrug, flip, and kind of punch up to the sky. Ready? Let's try it together. Or come back to clean if that feels better for you. Build up the tension in the hips, drive, and snatch. All right, let's do that a couple more times. So use an exhale breath, and really push the feet down. The weight at the top should feel like it's nothing, like it's shaking up there because I've got so much power in my hips that it's almost a joke using 12 pounds because it's not my shoulder that's doing it, it's my hips. Now we're gonna add on. So here we go. Snatch, hold it up, option 1. Option 2, bring it back down to the front rack. We're gonna step the same leg back into lunge, step together, and bring it down. Let's try that again. Drive forward and up, step back into lunge, step together, bring it down. Again, step back. Remember, your option is clean and step back from here, or snatch, bring it down, and step back from here. Okay, we're gonna go for 5 more. Here we go. Oh, I did the modified version, that's cool. 4 more. Drive, clean, hold it up if you can. We're really pushing up through that shoulder when we're in that overhead position. drive, hold it up, 2 more times. Hips back, drive, hold it up, 1 more time. Hips back, and lunge, and rest. Okay, so we're gonna do the other side. I'm just gonna grab a quick sip of water. Hope you're having a great week. Hello, everybody. I have been not well this week, so I'm huffing and puffing a little bit, but it's feeling really great. I hope you're enjoying it too. And let's go on to the other side. We're almost done our dumbbell work. We're just gonna put it all together and then finish up with a stretch. So let's do the other side first for 10. Hinge, remember. Let's practice that hinge. Building up tension. The hips reach back. The hips drive forward. Now we're gonna snatch. And then if you feel like you can, hold it up and step back into lunge. Otherwise, bring it down to that front rack position. Here we go. Step back. In, exhale up and bring it down. Inhale, hinge. Exhale, drive. Inhale, lunge. Exhale up. So it works out pretty well. Inhale back. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. All right, last 5. Reach back. Step back. Step up. 4 more. Ready? Big push with the hips. Step back. Step up. Last 3. Drive. If that shoulder's getting fatigued, you can bring it down to that front rack position. Last 2. So good. Step back. Step up. 1 more time. Drive. Step back. Exhale. Up. And bring it down. Okay. So we're ready to put it all together. But we're just going to give the hips a little bit of love for a second first. So let's balance on your right leg. Bend the left knee. And we're going to take it out to the side in a standing fire hydrant. So these are the same muscles we were working in that hip list earlier. So while we're doing this, watch that this hip is staying supported and supportive. So we're not sinking into it. And that might mean these toes have to tap down from time to time to catch your balance. Or that you get a better workout on your glutes when you use a little bit of stability with a wall or a chair. Last one, and shake it out and we'll switch. There's some good kind of all around 360-degree heat happening in those hips. Pull up on the left side, right side lift. So I'm trying to keep my knee kind of tucked back. I'll show you from the side. So I'm not out here. So that's gonna kind of bring me into the front hip, and I wanna focus on the side hip here. So I don't need to jam it back like a stretch, but I wanna pull it kind of in line with my standing leg. So it's roughly up and down. And again, using something for support. Let's do 4 more. Lifting up through this hip. See, I feel a little wiggly on this hip. So this would be a good time to use this so I can lift the hips back up and control it. Okay, beautiful. So let's wrap it up. We're gonna put it all together. We're going to do our snatch, very red now, our snatch, our lunge, and our squat on both sides, just for 5 reps each. So coming over to the left arm first, we'll put these moves together for our grand finale. Hinge the hips back. Let's just do that one more time. It's always good to review hinge. I usually will do a couple of reps myself, just to kind of get the brain going, connected to the hamstrings and the glutes. All right, we're gonna add on the snatch now, or the clean, your choice. So we go back, drive forward. Lunge first, lower it, and squat. Okay, we're gonna put those together again. Hinge, lunge, bring it down, and squat. 3 more. Reach back, drive forward, lunge, bring it down, squat. Last 2 on this side, friends. Drive, punch it up. Reverse lunge, bring it down, squat. When our seat can go lower in your squat this time, those hips are so warm that they might naturally be able to sink down like butter. All right, ready? Other side. Couple little warm-up hinges. Remind yourself that we're focused on this as a lower body exercise, not a shoulder exercise. All right, ready? Next one. Here we go. Drive. Same leg back into lunge. Bring it down. Squat. And then reset. Hinge. Drive it up. Step back. Bring it down. Hinge. I forgot the squat. Lunge. We'll do an extra squat here. We'll make it up. Ready? All right, we got two more. Hinge, drive, lunge, bring it down, squat. Last one. Reach back, step back into lunge, bring it down, squat, and rest. Oh, right, great job. So we're gonna crawl our hands out to downward dog now. Just take a second. Just take a second to catch your breath. Just take a second and roll down as you catch your breath. Tuck the head back, ears come over the shoulders. Chin, nice double chin. Fold it into the chest. Roll down, super slow. Kind of feeling for tension. It's a nice check-in. Where in my spine, my legs, do I feel tension? We can sway a little side to side. We're gonna walk out to downward dog. Now your heels do not need to be down in downward dog. Instead, think about pressing into the toes and the fingers and reaching your hips higher to the sky. So if that means that the heels lift up a bit, but we have a more open pelvic position, then that's gonna feel really nice. Now I know this can be a lot of work staying in downward dog. One more breath here. And we're gonna swing the left leg up and then come forward into a Spider-Man position. Your option is to bring the back knee down onto the ground, or you can keep it lifted if you want more of a challenge. And we're just gonna take a breath here. Beautiful, and we're gonna press back up to that downward dog. Other leg up, inhale, exhale, big swing forward. Either knee down, chest up, or knee lifted, chest still forward, but it's likely gonna look kind of ahead on the ground as opposed to up at the windows. My windows. I don't know what you have in front of you. Let's do that a couple more times on each side. Swing the leg up, drive forward, take a breath, reach your heel back behind you if the back knee is lifted. If not, lift your chest up and sink into the hips. Back to downward dog. Let's do that one more time. Leg up, big swing forward. That side's a little stickier for me. Beautiful. Breathing into those hips. And back up to downward dog one last time. This time we're just gonna take that left leg and we're gonna cross it over into pigeon. That might not be the best way for you to get into it. It might be better for you to come onto hands and knees and then swing the leg in. Bring that ankle close to the opposite wrist and then slide the back knee down and back. So we're gonna stay up in this proud pigeon for a couple breaths. This is our last move together. Just calming our breathing, giving those hips a nice kind of 360-degree release here after all that work we did. Pigeon is a challenging position. There are ways to modify pigeon so you can do it standing up with your leg turned out on a desk or a table. You can do a crossed over figure 4 stretch in a chair. You could also lay on your back and pull the leg into your chest in what we typically call like a figure 4 or a Piriformis Stretch, you might know it as. Stay centered. The back toes are down flat, if you can. And then let's just let the hands come forward if that feels good for you. If not, you can stay up high. You might come all the way down. I tend to feel a little suffocated by my boobs down there. So I like to come onto forearms and just be mindful of how am I shifting my weight to sink into it, and can I find a more balanced or a more fruitful position coming into the center. Now, I'm not going to do a fancy push out of this. Your options are to just come up onto hands and knees. My mat's moving. Or you can come out and come up to downward dog, if that feels good. Last time, right leg comes up, swing it forward and through, bring it nice and close to the opposite wrist, and then slide the back leg long. We'll stay up in that proud pigeon for a couple of breaths. I'm so glad that we did this together. I needed this week. And it feels great on a Friday to just get out some energy. I really love cleans and snatches, those powerful hip movements. What's so great about them is they're a really good way to use energy. So you sort of inadvertently get cardio and truly work your core and your full body, even though the focus is on the hips. So if you enjoyed those, you could try moving up on the weight next time, and you may find they actually go smoother when you have a heavier weight. So it can feel a little funny to use a lot of momentum when your weight is too light. And so often, if you're under the 10-pound mark when you're trying to learn how to do those dumbbell movements, that may be okay just in terms of preventing injury. But you will likely not get the momentum and the patterning that you need until you go up a little higher in the weight. And then because the weight's a little higher, your hips and your core, everything, your back actually has to work a little bit more cohesively to get the weight up or overhead, depending on the exercise. Just take one more breath here. It's really sitting into that center between the two hips. I'm gonna come up to a downward dog to walk back, but you can get out of this however you prefer. Just pushing the pelvis up. We'll walk back to give those hamstrings one more lovely stretch. Head heavy. It should feel like you're sinking lower in the forward fold than you were 10 minutes ago. And when you're ready, bend the knees, tuck the tail, tuck the chin, and come up super slow. My clothes are not coming with me. And you did it, and I'm sweaty, and I hope you're sweaty too. And let me know what you thought. Bye.